Good day, Antigua, Barbuda. I come with great news. I'm Dr. Hazra Medica, the Cultural Advisor in the Ministry of Education, Sports and the Creative Industries. I'm also the Project Manager of Antigua and Barbuda's National UNESCO-sponsored Intangible Cultural Heritage Project. What is the good news I come with? The traditional game of WARRI, an important African cultural retention, is in for a revival of epic proportions. We're here at the National Public Library to celebrate the start of the event that will kickstart the WARRI Revival Program, the Train the Trainers program, where 6 or 7 youths will be trained to train other youths in the fundamentals of WARRI and the history of WARRI. Now I have here today Mr. Peter Derrick, a member of the Antigua and Barbuda WARRI Academy, the group that will be facilitating the WARRI Revival Program, and he's going to share with us a bit about the history of the game in Antigua and Barbuda. Mr. Derrick, welcome.
Thank you very much. Well, I've been here this morning getting across to our trainers the connection of history and the game, because history, I believe, is what connects us to the game. We learned that it is the oldest board game known to mankind. It's a game that has been played for centuries throughout Africa. In fact, it was much more than a game, because we learned that it was used as a tool by the ancient Egyptians for the calculation of their building projects. Also the accounting they did of their storehouses. And later on, it became the purview of leaders, the royalty, who use it as a way of showing decorum and showing intelligence. And then they used it for their armies, where they would choose their generals, because it was shown to be a perfect tool for strategy, organizing strategy of men. And so their generals would be tested in the use of WARRI. Now, as I said, it's a game that has been played throughout Africa, and our connection with WARRI comes from our history, the history of slavery, where West Africans were captured and brought to the Caribbean as slaves. And I remember asking my fellow trainees what they thought if the Africans were allowed to bring boards and seeds over to Antigua. Of course, everybody agreed, no. And I said, you see, that's the point we are making of history. They have a connection that is more than just a game. They use it to connect their culture, to remember the things that were important to them, especially in their language. And we showed how the words used in WARRI were very much related to family organization. WARRI itself means married or forming a relationship or getting married. And we agreed to sum up the session with the fact that if you marry WARRI, you are bound to go far in life.
So Mr. Derek has given us a bit about the history of Warri and its significance to us here in Antigua and Barbuda. Mr. Simon, you are known as the international grandmaster. You are a Warri champion. And I should say you're Mr. Trevor Simple Simon CN, mind you. So we're talking about a Warri revival. Let's talk about how big Warri was in Antigua and why we're on this path to reviving the game. I know it's been said, or Antigua and Barbuda has been hailed as the last stand or the last bastion of Warri. That is the people who are still playing Warri in the Caribbean. Can you tell us about that? You know, how big was Warri in Antigua? Where is it now? And talk a bit more about the Warri revival program.
Well, Warri in Antigua was a very big art form going back years. Every year between 1984, I speak of 1984 to 98, where Everton Jacobs, who's recently deceased, was the president of the Warri Association. We used to organize 5 tournaments every year. And you would have participation from all the villages across Antigua. Pickett's, Bolans, Liberta, All Saints, Villa and Point. The whole Antigua diaspora used to be involved in playing the game of Warri. Batacana was one of the famous areas for Warri, and that's where you would find all the big guns, as we refer to them, big guns, which is all the grandmasters line up to play what we call best of 3. If you lose the best of 3, and in order for you to maintain your seat, you would have to keep winning because the lineup of players was so extensive that once you lose, it's going to take a long time for you to get back on the board. So such was the game of Warri. It was played in all the villages. Villain Point had a lot of players, Liberta had a lot of players, Bolans had a lot of players, Westbus Station, taxi stand, the airport, Batacana, and the post office. You'll find Warri being played all day, all night sometimes. And so we're on the course to revive Warri across the nation. And the first stage of that process is a program we are undertaking with the sponsorship of UNESCO to train 6 students, well, let's say 7 students, to become Warri trainers, because we want to revive Warri across the nation, not only in Antigua but also in Barbuda. And so we are dedicating the next few months to do that revival. The first stage, like I just mentioned, is to do the trainers program, where we're training the students to assist us in training a wider number of students across Antigua and Barbuda. To be exact, we want to train 550 students across Antigua and Barbuda. And so those students that we're training will assist us in helping to train the other students that we're going to be training during the summer and beyond. We are also going to be training 50 members from the NGOs. The NGOs include sports club, churches, organization like APUA, etc. We're picking 50 persons from the NGO environment to be trained, because we know they too have internal competition in a lot of cases. And so, yeah, that is going to be a mission for the next couple of weeks. We're also going to undergo a program where youths within the prison, 8 youths within the prison would be trained to make Warri boards. We're also going to be training, I can't remember the number offhand, some students in Barbuda to learn the art of making the Warri boards, so that down the road, they can use this as an economical benefit as well. So it's an extensive program that we are undertaking, and we are inviting the entire public to be part of it, because we're gonna revive Warri to the extent that it's gonna be played all over the nation once more.
So there you have it, Antigua, Barbuda, and all diaspora. Take we out Africa, but you can't take Africa out of we. Look forward to more updates on the WARRI Revival Program.